The night was heavy with fog as I drove down the lonely stretch of highway. Raindrops pelted against the windshield, distorting my view of the dark road ahead. The radio had long lost reception, leaving me alone with the rhythmic drumming of rain and the hum of the engine. My knuckles were white against the steering wheel and a sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. I had been driving for hours, hoping to reach my destination before the storm worsened. But now, with visibility dwindling and the road seemingly endless, I began to question the wisdom of my decision to travel at night. As I rounded a bend, my headlights caught something on the side of the road, a figure standing motionless in the rain. My heart skipped a beat as I approached cautiously. It was a woman, her drenched hair clinging to her pale face. She looked lost and vulnerable. I slowed down, debating whether to stop and offer assistance, but before I could make a decision, she turned and darted into the woods, disappearing into the shadows. Confusion mingled with concern. I hesitated for a moment before pulling over. I couldn't just leave her out there in this weather. I grabbed a flashlight from the glove compartment and stepped out into the downpour. The woods were eerily quiet, the only sound my footsteps crunching on wet leaves and twigs. I called out, "Hello, are you there?" No answer. I pressed on, the beam of my flashlight cutting through the darkness. The trees seemed to close in around me, their branches gnarled and menacing in the dim light. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Suddenly I stumbled upon a clearing. There she was again, standing at the center, her back turned to me. "Hey, are you okay?" I called out, my voice echoing in the stillness. She didn't respond. Instead, she began to sway, her movements unnaturally slow and rhythmic. Unease turned to dread as I realized something was terribly wrong. I took a cautious step closer. "Ma'am, can you hear me?" Without warning, she spun around to face me. Her eyes were hollow voids, devoid of life or emotion. My heart raced as I recoiled in horror, and then she began to laugh, a chilling, otherworldly sound that echoed through the trees. I stumbled backwards, my mind racing with fear. This wasn't right. I had to get out of there. I turned and ran, branches clawing at my clothes, rain soaking me to the bone. Panic fueled my steps as I desperately searched for the path back to the road. Suddenly I heard it, a chorus of eerie whispers all around me, faint yet unmistakable. I dared not look back, fearing what I might see. Just when I thought I couldn't run any longer, I burst through the trees and stumbled back onto the highway. My car was a welcome sight, its headlights cutting through the fog. I fumbled for my keys, heart pounding in my ears. As I climbed inside and slammed the door shut, I dared a glance in the rearview mirror. There, standing at the edge of the woods, was the woman. But she was no longer alone. Figures emerged from the shadows, their eyes glinting in the darkness. I wasted no time. I started the engine and sped off into the night, adrenaline coursing through my veins. I didn't stop until I reached the next town, where I pulled into a gas station and stumbled inside, drenched and trembling. The attendant gave me a concerned look as I caught my breath. "Are you all right, sir?" I tried to speak, to explain what I had just witnessed, but the words caught in my throat. How could I make him understand? As I glanced out the window, rain still drumming against the glass, I saw her, standing in the shadows beyond the glow of the gas station lights. I blinked, and she was gone. But I knew then that she would haunt my dreams for nights to come, a specter of the unknown that lurked in the darkness, and I prayed that I would never encounter her again.